Okay, so we made it back from the show. Came out strong. Hit the wrong ramp, that's all there is to it. And instead of going up for the wheelie competition, I went out and wound up nosediving out of the sky. Broke the front spring packs and yeah, dislocated everything underneath the front end of the truck. So if you build a leaf truck, don't land on the nose, it's really bad for them. Try to land on cars or the back axle. But anyway, here's that clip where I broke the truck, and then you'll see a couple stills afterwards of me getting towed off. But it's not as bad as it looks in the pictures. It did sting a little bit, but nothing real bad. Didn't hurt afterwards. So leaf spring trucks can be safe, can be comfortable to drive. That's it. Here's a clip.
1975 version. So this is the authentic style monster trucks we would have started with the 1980s, 1990s. But we started right here out of Springfield, Missouri in 1981. This earthquake is the true F-250. Uh-oh!
Getting the truck back together. Got the suspension done, working on the steering next, and then we got to go through and put new engine mounts in it and a driver's side header. So here's where we're at so far. Okay, everything underneath looks good, no more crushed shocks, springs are back where they belong. Got a little bit of rash on my traction bar from the tire slamming into it, but it's all good. And for everyone that says that the U-bolts aren't big enough, the U-bolts didn't break. Every suspension system has a weak link, and this is the weak link. That is the spring pack pin. That's what holds the spring pack together. That's what broke. Sheared the head off, tried to pull the nut off the back. You can see it's not really on there straight. But that's it. So once your spring pack comes apart, it starts spitting leaves out. After you start spitting leaves out, you obviously have slack in the U-bolts because there's pieces missing. And that's what caused the suspension to fly apart. Now, why don't I have give in the front suspension? I actually have plenty of give. There's 14 inches of travel in that suspension right there. However, if you land straight up and down on the nose, springs don't bend that way. That's why in the video it looks like nothing happened. If you land it on its wheels, then the springs work. We're underneath the truck here and welding the new steering ram brackets on. And what they look like is this here. Now it's got a weld plate at the bottom, and then the clamp actually bolts to it. Well, the clamp that was on it was tapped fine thread, and the new ones they sent me are tapped coarse thread. They're the same in every other way. So I thought, oh, I'll be smart. I'll use my same weld blocks so I don't have to cut and grind the old ones off and get new fine thread bolts. You are not going to find that bolt anywhere. It's nowhere near Sparta. And for everybody that says, oh, go to Fastenal, go to Joe Bag of Donuts online and get them. For the time I would have spent doing all that, I could just cut the flip and weld blocks off and be done with it. So that's what I'm doing. I got 1.5 done. Here's the old fine thread block I cut off of here. And then here is my nice pretty new weld block that I can actually use those bolts on. So I'm getting ready to weld the new one on, and then I can mount my steer cylinder again. And hopefully it won't fall off this time. I have 2 more of these whole bracket assemblies on order, and I'm going to have 4 tie downs instead of just the 2 like the other guy had. So it'll look a lot like that, which is my rear setup. So anyway, that's where we're at today. As soon as I get this done, I'm gonna start working on the header and engine mounts. Bent the steering ram too. I don't know if you can see it, but it ain't straight. Just enough for it to matter. So I have a new cylinder or ram on order, and hopefully it'll get here pretty soon. Okay, we have a dilemma. Do I fix the truck good enough to do a display this weekend, or we just fix the truck the right way? Here's what I'm talking about. With all that stuff that happened, I smashed my header flat. Let's see if you can see this. Smashed it flat. So, the header is old and rusty and got a couple pinholes in it anyway. But my new set of headers are make your own Headman Hustler headers. So do I go ahead and start building new headers, or do I patch this one enough to get me through the weekend and then worry about the other one later? I think I'm just going to get through this weekend with my old rusty header. I'll open up that tube and weld the tear shut, and that way I can drive it. I'll fix the engine mount that's in it, and that way the truck is ready to go as is for this weekend, and it's only Tuesday, so I have plenty of time. And then after Saturday, I can tear it apart, put the motor and mid plate in it, and then build my new headers and have plenty of time and not be rushed. I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Well, taking a break for the day. I think I've gone as far as I can possibly go. It's not race ready, but it's display ready. I need to build another set of headers. I need to make engine plate and motor mid plate for it. Replace the tail shaft housing that's cracked. It doesn't leak bad enough for it to be a problem. That should be it. Oh, and rebuild the steer cylinder. But it was a pretty good day's work. It's able to drive around on its own power, and it's mostly fixed. It looks a lot better. Here, check it out. No more stuff not where it's supposed to be. Still have this side open because I just kind of patched up that header, shoved it back in there. I still got a little bit more alignment work to do, and zip tie the fuel line up out of the way. But not bad, getting there. I went to start it. This made me mad. Wouldn't start. The kill radio that let me down at the show just quit altogether. Now it won't even let the truck run. 3-Built and I are going to have a conversation later. But anyway, if nothing else happens, I'll at least be able to load it up and get to Preston's birthday party. I won't be able to do a car crush or do anything silly with it, but you know, I can back it off the trailer, tire it up, and start it up for him. That's about where we're at. I have about 3 or 4 weeks between this weekend and my next actual show that I have to race. So in that time I'll build the set of headers, I'll button everything up, put a different radio in it, and then I'll have my hauler squared away. And then 3 more shows to finish the year. Last one being the display at the Hall of Fame. And then we're done for the year. It's been a rough year on the truck. But we got some cool pictures. So now that the truck is squared away for this weekend, we need to focus on the hauler, because while I have a truck that is physically able to pull my trailer, it doesn't have a hitch on it, so we need to fix that. So here's where we're at with that. I mentioned earlier I bought this bed, and I was going to try to keep that hitch in the center, but it's just a lot easier to shove the bed up where it belongs on the truck and then relocate the hitch. I'm taking about, I don't know, 20 inches off the back of the truck. It was added to, you can see the weld here where the line is, and then it's got this plate here where they braced it. So I'm just cutting that all off, and I'm going to use, you can see the plate here, I'm going to use that to help attach the hitch. Since it's welded on 3 sides, it will be welded on 4 sides. So there's the half I already cut off. You can see somebody did a lovely job of hacking off the back of the frame. And we're going to make it a nice clean line like that, and then weld the hitch plate to the back of the truck, much closer to the axle. It'll make the trailer behave better, it'll pull better, and then later on I'll add a foot to the back of the bed and relocate that gooseneck hitch when I need to. So that's today's fun. Again, you can't watch me work because I'm funny about that, but I'll get it done and I'll show you guys what I came up with. Welding on the hitch plate for the truck, and I clamped it so I could get the gap pretty tight. Yeah, I welded the clamp to the hitch plate. It happens. Not a bad day's work. I got the hitch plate done, which is right there. I got the parts for the steering, but I don't have enough time to put them on, so I'll do the display this weekend. Next week I'll worry about rebuilding the steering ram. Tomorrow I have to finish the bed, go buy my D-rings and actual pintle hitch so I can get the hitch finished up, so I can hook to my trailer, so I can load the truck, so I can be ready for Saturday morning. That's about it. I'm tired. I'm going in. It's getting there. A little bit more and I'll have a workable hitch. That's what we got so far. Got my D-rings for the safety chains, my 30,000 pound pintle hitch, nice hitch plate. Still got to wire it, hook up the tail lights, and then mount the bed. And I can hook to the trailer and get everything loaded for tomorrow. A lot of work. Well, it's all done. It's the morning after, but we got it done. Turned out pretty decent, I think. Tail lights work. I got a trailer connector, 30,000 pound pintle hitch. Good to go.